Hey guys, and I'm going to be reviewing the Jaguar F-Pace plug-in electric hybrid 400e. I'll give you more details about that a bit later on. I'm actually at a media drive event here with Jaguar. I'll try and do a little bit of a walk around and a little bit more details on the car once I'm inside, and some driving impressions as well once we're on the go. So this is the extensively updated Jaguar F-Pace. You can definitely see a difference at the front. I mean, you can see that grille and stuff. It's not as the grille is not as embedded as it used to be. It's more protruding. It's more sort of in your face. There definitely is a little bit of different contouring at the front of the car and the side of the car as well. Still a handsome looking thing, quite a substantial presence in this, guys. This is our plug-in electric hybrid car, so it should be interesting to drive this. I'm about to embark on a 2-hour road route, but let's see what the cars are like. Well, I have a quick look at the boot side. You can see 400e all-wheel drive, should be electric, and it has, oh I see, it must be, this is a bit less luggage space than I thought, and that's probably because it's got cables, and probably the battery area is underneath there, so there's a little cavity down there, bit of a deep pocket, split folding seat, pockets there, but a reasonable sized boot. But definitely the floor is a bit higher now on that car. It's got a bit of this slope thing going on, so that might be something to keep in mind if you're putting stuff that could roll down or whatever, but generally okay. So we'll check out and it's powered, we'll check out the interior space in the front and the rear a bit later. Alright, so here we are in the back of the F-Pace. This is obviously, this is a left-hand drive. This driver's seat is set for me. 6'2" tall. It's got a full panoramic sunroof all the way across, but I got plenty of room, no issues whatsoever. Loads of room for my knees. Shins are slightly just up against this netted thing here, but other than that, not too much of a problem. I've got heated seats back here, that's quite good, and a power supply, 2 vents as well. Over here, there is an armrest with a couple of cup holders. But nice comfy seating, the Isofix child seat anchor points as well. Very airy, very spacious despite the privacy glass. So very, very nice. This is the new Jaguar F-Pace, and you know, it's got an all new crafted interior, it says, and as you can see here, if you can make this out, a floating kind of panel, very big, very clear, new infotainment system, works really well. This kind of stubby gear lever, lots of storage space, nice big comfy seats, a bit too comfy because they were holding me quite tightly until I found the adjustment here to release the side bolsters and give me some more room. Entirely digital instrument panel, nice steering wheel with remotes on there, pretty much as you would expect from a Jaguar, very nicely done. I'm a little bit surprised about the way that this is a kind of a floating screen, unlike normally they embed them in like with the Range Rovers, but you know, it's alright, it works well. Climate controls are here separate. Very intuitive, very easy to get into straight away. Not too much that you have to stop and figure out. Pretty much like the seat thing was the only thing that got me confused a little bit. On the outside, new bonnet, super slim LED quad headlights, new grille as we saw, new rear lights, and a new bumper. Now you do get there are new 6-cylinder engines, a new Ingenium 3-liter petrol, 340 horsepower and 400 horsepower. Latest inline 6-cylinder diesel as well. That's a 300 horsepower. All feature mild hybrid electric vehicle technology. So those are mild hybrid. So the 400e F-Pace plug-in hybrid, up to 33 miles electric only range, charges in 40 minutes, 1 hour 40 minutes, 0 to 80% at a home charger, 30 minutes at a 32 kilowatt fast charger, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. EV mode is available, hybrid mode, save mode, where it prioritizes the combustion engine to keep the battery safe so that you can use that in town. This one has a 4-cylinder petrol engine, produces about 300 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque. Combined performance is 404 brake horsepower, 640 newton meters of torque. The electric motor alone generates 143 horsepower. Electric only, driving up to 87 miles per hour. 8-speed transmission. It's got a 17.1 lithium-ion battery on board. All the connectivity and all of that sort of stuff. Any additional spec, you know what, I'll put them on the screen. Loads of nice interior things, including noise cancellation and all the rest of it. I think the thing to do though is let's take it for a bit of a drive and see what it's like on the go. So what mode have I got it in? I've got it in comfort mode. So let's start in comfort mode. Interestingly, you'll notice that I am in a left-hand drive car here in the UK. I'm actually on the sort of Middle East or international rotation of this event, of this media drive. This is actually a Spanish specification car, but we are driving it here in the UK. So it's representative of cars, of the sort of car that you might get in general, not just in the UK but in other markets as well. This is quite a nice road. So from comfort, let's go into dynamic mode. It's all gone red up here. It's going to prioritize the engine. So if I actually go there, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but you can see what it's doing there. And it does. Look at that. I don't know if that's artificial sound, but that sounds really good. You know, it's, you know, and I can actually, if I put it down there, it's in sports mode now. Yeah, that's the gearbox in sports. Oh, a bit more responsive. Oh yeah, a bit more responsive with the throttle. Quite a bit of overrun. Like a flywheel is just spinning on, the kind of thing. But the power is just constantly there. My goodness, you know. I guess it's the combination of the petrol and the electric is really powering this thing along, and it feels ridiculously quick, and it feels instantly responsive as well. So real benefit there in terms of how that electric power works in combination with the petrol power on this car. Overtaking is an absolute doddle in this car because the acceleration is just there, you know. Big car, brakes not a problem. Nice responsiveness. Of course, this is all-wheel drive car. Decent ride. I'm sure this is a well-spec car and it's running on, I don't know what profile the wheels are, but it's absorbing the bumps and stuff very well indeed. But it really wants to go, you know. This is quite extraordinary in the sense that this is the regular car. Okay, this is not an SVR or anything like that, but it's got the sort of instant response of an SVR or something like that. And the sound theatrics that it's doing are, you know, I can't imagine that that's coming entirely from the four-cylinder. So I'm guessing that there's a little bit of an enhancement going on there. But it does sound and feel very sporty, particularly from the get-go, coming out of that corner and that right-hander, maybe slightly slippery road. But it felt like it wanted to really, you know, spin its wheels a little bit until the traction was like, you know, holding on to it. So quite remarkable. So let's just come up to this bit, and once again, sports mode. Oh God, I mean, wow, you know, really does give you a bit of a punch in the backside. Really quite good. And riding tall, good visibility, just like an F-Pace would do. F-Pace owners would be very familiar with it. There's a bunch of enhancements with this car, but there's essentially, I think, an evolution of the car that was introduced in 2015. I'm actually quite surprised at how frisky this car feels, considering that it's a largish SUV and a hybrid, and yet, you know, look at the sound of this thing. It's incredible. This is really quite surprised about it, actually. Let's try the paddle shifts. Oh, good response. Yeah, definitely. Just a slight little hesitation on the upshifts, but nothing significant. Let's put that back on map. It's a nice big screen, very easy to use. I've got heated seats, which I appreciated on this rather cold morning. 3 degrees outside. And I've got heated steering wheel as well, so that's quite good as well. But good response on the paddle shifts as well. No issues whatsoever. There's a downshift. I've got a display in front of me also that's telling me what gear the car is in. I've got to say the response to the throttle is just extraordinary. Steering is still, I know it's in sports mode, so it's weightened up a little bit, but still quite light. We're not talking a lot of feel here, but we are talking, yeah, reassuring response, that's for sure. So in that sense, it's quite good. You know, you're not, it's not bad for something of this size, this bulk, and this sort of genre to be able to do what it's doing. But oh gosh, it is quite relentless in its performance. The gearbox does well on its own. Yeah, I mean the kickdown takes a just, I mean, it's going so quick that it doesn't need a kickdown. But if I just slow down here and then punch it again to see how it responds. Yeah, the quick down takes a little while. So it's almost like, okay, for that, then if you want response quicker, then you can use the paddle shifts. A little bit of movement on the body, again, because it is a high riding car and we're attacking these bumps quite quickly. But overall, the ride is very comfortable. I drove it on the motorway earlier and it was very serene, very smooth. Doesn't have adaptive cruise control. I'm a bit surprised, but it does have cruise control, lane keep as well. So that's not a problem. But you can imagine that on the motorway, it will be a very good cruiser. Very quiet, very refined, very smooth, no issues whatsoever. Not too much buffeting. There's a little bit of wind noise here. Didn't really detect it too much on the motorway, but it must have been the same. Did have the stereo on. Stereo is very good, as you would imagine. Decent bass and all the rest of it, so pretty good. So there's no like bang or anything on the downshifts. I'm going down into third here because we're sharp right-hander, uphill, little bit of understeer, slippery road, but you're able to control it just by lifting off and a little bit of application of the brake there. Suddenly into some foggy weather now, oddly. Wasn't any fog before. All of a sudden the visibility has really dropped. But again, a chance to maybe put it back into comfort mode. There you go, into comfort mode. That's gone back to normal now. Things have quietened down. Steering a little bit lighter, not a huge amount of difference. The ride is still, but this is a rough road actually. The ride is still composed, but certainly transmitting the undulations of the surface, that's for sure. What about the acceleration? Yeah, not quite as punchy, and certainly the sound level has been turned right down. So, definitely a difference there between the modes, that's for sure. Surprisingly, not difficult to drive this left-hand drive car. The visibility hence being so good that it's not really a problem. So there you go. I mean, I think this is an improvement, and also, not only is it an improvement, externally I have to say I prefer the looks of the previous car. I just think so, particularly the front. I think really standout Jaguar look more about that car. Aside from that, definitely an improvement. The interior is definitely an improvement. And if you're thinking you can't afford the SVR or whatever, I don't think you're losing much by gaining this one. And this in the hybrid form. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous, but I think that's quite extraordinary that this car in hybrid form is as sporty and as punchy as it actually is. But yeah, thumbs up on as far as I'm concerned.